The Hermitcraft server is a private survival multiplayer server for YouTubers and Twitch streamers called the Hermits. There are currently 26 active Hermits who upload Hermitcraft and Minecraft videos and live streams regularly, which I wish I was one of them, honestly. Hermitcraft was founded on April 13th, 2012 by Generic B and has grown a lot since then, with the Hermits having a total of over 39 million subscribers combined. But what are some harrowing moments from the previous few seasons that will make your head spin? That's what we're exploring today. Let's do it. And at 10, Chorus Fruit Vault. The Chorus Fruit Vault incident is more recent and probably the most recent number on this list. In the current Hermitcraft season, Hermitcraft Season 9, a storyline has developed between Mumbo Jumbo and Grian, where Mumbo's whole base is basically a vault for his immeasurable amounts of diamonds. Air quotes. And Grian wants to break into it, costing him diamonds if he fails, but if he gets in, he being Grian ends up winning everything in the vault. Mumbo's first vault was merely a decoy, and he even says so with the signs, but Grian being Grian tries anyway. First ramming himself into the door, flying, also with ender pearls trying to get through, but eventually he tries Chorus Fruit, which is what Mumbo anticipated him trying right off the bat. Because without Grian knowing it, Mumbo made the vault a trap that would instantly kill him if he actually did Chorus Fruit in. And eventually he does. He then falls into lava, loses all of his stuff, which they agreed he wouldn't have on, and then Grian had to cough up an additional 5 diamond blocks as well as literally losing all of his stuff. And then now he has to wait 2 weeks to actually try to break in again. Next time though, I think it's 10 diamond blocks if he fails, so yeah. Pretty funny, but also terrifying for Grian. In at 9, the Spookification Chamber. The Spookification Chamber was certainly an interesting choice for our shop in Hermitcraft 7's shopping district. However, given that it was around Halloween, it was fairly fitting. The purpose of this shop, created by Mumbo Jumbo, was to give the Hermits spooky skins for the Halloween season. Now, whether Mumbo made these skins off screen and then sent them to the Hermits who paid the diamonds is unknown. They very well might have just had their own and they paid to be killed by rockets, but no matter what, this was certainly odd with some disturbing results. Mumbo Jumbo turned himself into a robot, Scar became a pumpkin, B-Dubs got Grian's face, Vintage Beef became an angry cow, kind of fitting, Cub Fan became a mummy, False Symmetry got a skeleton onesie, Tango Tech became Doom Guy, I'm pretty sure, but like the original Doom Guy. Impulse swapped faces with his shirt, and keep in mind that his shirt has a creeper face on it. Zombie Cleo became human instead of staying a zombie, which is a whole other can of worms. Apparently this machine brings people back from the dead. Grian got B-Dubs' face, Joe Hills got his face stretched out, XB Crafted became a zombie, iJevon became a half skeleton, Iskal started singing opera music, and Zumavoid ended up becoming a beholder, which is absolutely terrifying and the scariest skin of them all, but still pretty sick. In at 8, Grian. Just Grian. Grian is a member of the Hermitcraft server, one of the Hermits, and is a YouTuber with over 7.5 million subscribers. He joined Hermitcraft at the start of Season 6, but ever since then, any random Grian appearance is always scary. He's also known for his building skills and his reputation as a prankster, but his reputation as a prankster certainly has caused some friction. Yeah, it's the same kind of style as me. I do love to screw with people. However, Grian certainly has more villainous activities under his belt than I do. Since after all, he's been a part of multiple events, let's say, that I'll get into later. That he definitely helped incite. I mean, he basically caused a whole load of buffoonery, if you will. He would also go around and egg people's bases disguised as Poultry Man, and has made multiple secret bases inside of other hermits' bases. The list goes on, but this man is a menace, but a hilarious one that I admire and one day aspire to be. Still, if you see Grian, be scared. And it's 7, Demise. Demise is a minigame from Hermitcraft Season 6 that aimed to make the Hermitcraft server more like hardcore Minecraft, where you'd start as alive, but if you died due to anything that wasn't a bug or a glitch, you'd end up joining the dead team and your skin would turn to grayscale. Anyone on the dead team would have their sole mission be to kill everyone on the living team, but only with traps. PvP was not allowed. And I mean, like, technically setting traps is PvP, but like, they mean that you couldn't couldn't just execute them with a sword. Things got very intense, and eventually someone, I won't say who, but someone ended up gaining a whole crap load of diamonds from it. And there were plenty of shenanigans, of course. It was certainly entertaining for the viewer, but if you were ever in a situation where your favorite hermit might die, that would certainly be terrifying, especially if they seemingly had no regard for their own life. Grian, I'm looking at you. And at 6, Jeff the Minion. Jeff the Minion is an unidentified player on the Hermitcraft server who specifically targeted one of the original members, Pungence, and his shop, King Midas's Beautiful Accidents. Jeff pranked Pungence's shop several times by putting fences around the entrance and chickens inside the room, but he remained anonymous until his final prank, where he left a book that contained a website address to a YouTube video. In the video, that was actually in the book, he warns Pungence that Pungence has become corrupt by the relic's power, and that the only way to cure himself would be to throw the objects into a river dotted with golden blocks. Pungence refuses this for some reason, even though it was just golden armor. So he keeps the store open, but no one ends up buying anything from it because after he's corrupt. Because he's like corporate America. No, he's corrupt by King Midas's curse, so he ends up upping the prices for the golden armor, the worst armor in the game, like 100 times more than they originally were. But Jeff the Minion actually did reappear in some of Exumavoid's cutscenes from Season 8, but to my knowledge nothing has come of those appearances yet, so I don't know, maybe this season it'll happen. Halfway through into number 5, Civil Wars. Hermitcraft has had some pretty crazy moments, however over the past few seasons we've had 2 Civil Wars. Yeah, not 1, but 2. How did 2 Civil Wars start, you ask? Grian. Yeah, that's right, I told you I'd get into it. Starting in Season 6, when Grian joined the Hermits for the first time, there has nearly been a war every season after. The first one being the Hermitcraft Civil War in Season 6, which was a server-wide event that ended with the victory of the G team from what I remember, although I still stand by the whole Team Brita filter thing. And then in Season 7 there was a turf war between HEP, the Hermitcraft Environmental Protection Agency, and the Mycelium Resistance. The turf war being 100% Grian's fault, since he replaced a few bits of grass in the shopping district with mycelium and then continued to do so. So by placing just like 4 blocks, this man started a whole war. And he also basically started the Civil War. I mean, he didn't do it directly, there was some sign shenanigans, but Grian also basically started that one. And if Season 8 had been any longer, I am 100% sure that there would have been some form of Bodum or Godum war, but a certain something got angry and ended up ending the season prematurely. And at 4, Tag. Tag was another Hermitcraft 6 game that honestly wasn't really as scary as dying or going grayscale, but that was only in the beginning. As the game went on though, starting at the beginning of the season, it ended up getting worse and worse. It went from you lose a slot in your inventory to you have to do terribly difficult parkour challenges, at least terribly difficult to Iskal, where at the end you would end up getting a challenge or twist for your next tag, like use an ender pearl to do it or don't use rockets. And then it added that you had to wear like a dunce armor and a villager head instead of your normal diamond armor, and eventually the hermits all grew to dread the game so much that it just stopped. Someone made the decision that they weren't going to allow this lunacy to continue, and then they moved on and no one really seemed to care. Only for Grian to make the hot potato game, which was basically the same thing with less steps, giving you the punishment directly if you could sneak a poisoned potato into someone else's inventory. And then in Season 7 it was Tag 2 Electric Boogaloo, where you wanted to hold on to the tag, and in Season 8 it was Teg, where you had to find the dragon egg in someone else's base and then hide it in yours. Do you see why I gave Grian his own number? And at 3, Evil Zumavoid. Evil Zumavoid, also known as Evil Zuma or just Evil X, is the villainous alter ego of Zumavoid, who is intent on destroying the entire Hermitcraft server. When he moves, lightning bolts appear out of the sky. And since his first appearance in Zumavoid's episode 350, Evil Inside, he has appeared at several points throughout the history of Hermitcraft. He returned in Season 8, but his big goal was no longer to destroy the server, but to become the richest person on it. That's right, capitalism. That's right, a man who wanted to destroy the world came back with a different plan. capitalism. Recently, it turned out that this was the biggest scam in the history of Hermitcraft, and Evil Zuma left the server with a very large amount of diamonds. Evil X first appears when Zumavoid tries out Doc 77's killing machine in the spawn chunks, and the machine fails the first time, but as X waits for the killing mechanism to activate, he is killed. Not by the machine though, but instead by a death screen that says, Zuma was shot by Evil Zuma. Come on. If that's not terrifying, I don't know what is. That's like Israfel 2.0. Penultimately, into number 2, Moonbig. The Moonbig meme is honestly hilarious, and actually the reason that Hermitcraft Season 8 ended. At one point, the Hermits noticed that the moon suddenly looked bigger than it did normally, with the size of the moon only growing from there, getting so big that it actually started interfering with Earth's gravity, pulling random blocks up and eventually mobs and the players towards it as well. It got so bad that the Hermits actually had to abandon the world in order to survive the moon crashing into the planet. The members of Bodum, Impulse SV, Good Times with Scar, Mumbo Jumbo, Green, and Pearlescent Moon ended up falling through the Bodum hole into the void, where they stayed falling until the start of Season 9, a la Loki from Thor Ragnarok. The end of the season then showcased an animation of the moon crashing into the world and ultimately destroying everything. Like, basically, they played Majora's Mask in Minecraft. So yeah, that feels like it was pretty terrifying. Although something that it didn't end the season, finally, in at number 1, the Bodum Wither. The Bodum, oh my god, okay? Look, the Bodum was another thing from Season 8 where a group of individuals ended up making a tower of boats in the same vein as a totem pole, I guess, that they ended up calling the Bodum Pole as per Mumbo's suggestion. Like I said, the group was Mumbo, Green, Scar, Pearlescent Moon, and Impulse, but the scariest moment for all of Bodum wasn't the End Crystal War or Treza. It was when Green spawned a goddamn wither in the middle of their town when messing with Mumbo. You see, to Mumbo, Green at this point was perfectly invisible. No potion, no hacks, just a weird glitch. So Green used it to his advantage and started messing with him. First placing signs with messages that were freaking him out, then he started placing wither skulls, freaking him out with how many he had. He had a lot of them because he had recently won a competition. And then Green started placing soul sand in the iconic T formation, but only 2 skulls. And then he finally placed a third one, thinking that a torch would prevent the wither from actually spawning, but it didn't. And thus began the battle for Bodum. Especially since while messing with Mumbo, Green had placed end crystals all around Mumbo's base. So one stray wither skull and this would have ended really badly. That's all the time we have for today, friends. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been and shall remain Connor Monroe, and I will see you in another video if the Bodum Wither doesn't kill me. And now, my ritual. Okay, hey, let it disappear. Look at me go. It was worth a shot. Like, Jay wasn't here to see the fail.